What's up gamers, Lecture here with an update for Sorcerers in Diablo 4. The new Malignant rings are now live with patch 1.2.2 in Season 2, and Sorcerers can now get Rasha's Iridescent loop. The Rasha unique effect is pretty good with up to a 15% multiplier that stacks for each type of elemental damage you deal. The ring also comes with some valuable affixes, providing resource generation and cooldown reduction. But do these benefits make Rasha's Iridescent loop best in slot for your Sorcerer build? In this video, I'll cover when the Rasha ring is worth using and how to activate up to 4 stacks of the Rasha buff for a 60% multiplier. When considering the Rasha ring, it's important to compare what is being replaced. A well-rolled legendary ring has 4 affixes that are ideal for your build. The Rasha ring has a high-value non-physical damage affix, but this is additive with other damage bonuses. In addition, the Lucky Hit affix is not desired for most Sorcerer builds. You'll also lose either an offensive or a resource aspect from a legendary ring. For example, with the Ball Lightning Sorcerer build, you might lose the 20% multiplier on Edge Master's aspect, which the Rasha buff can make up for, or Prodigy's aspect. Prodigy's aspect can be dropped if you have all the mana affixes on gear, but I still prefer to keep Prodigy for smoother gameplay. All the Sorcerer builds can easily gain 2 stacks of the Rasha buff. Teleport does lightning damage for the first stack, while Flame Shield or Firebolt enchantment does fire damage for the second stack. I recommend using Firebolt enchantment in all of my Sorcerer builds to instantly apply burning to every enemy. This is essential not only due to the Devouring Blaze damage, but more importantly to utilize damage reduction from burning enemies on gear affixes and paragon nodes. Cold builds like Ice Shards and Blizzard Sorcerers can automatically gain the third buff stack for a 45% multiplier. This is more difficult for non-cold based builds as Frost Nova does not deal any cold damage. A cold skill can be equipped in an enchantment slot, but I would rather use up a skill bar slot. For example, with the Ball Lightning Sorcerer build, the best way to do this is by replacing Lightning Spear with Ice Blades. The downside to this setup is that you lose the extra cast of Lightning Spear to stun all the enemies on the screen, which is especially useful for surviving tier 100 Nightmare dungeons. You can still allocate Invoked Lightning Spear in the skill tree and get it to proc from Unstable Currents, but I like to cast Lightning Spear from the skill bar when Unstable Currents is on cooldown. The 4th stack for the Rasha buff can be gained by dealing poison damage, and Daria's Visage can trigger Poison Nova, but this uber unique item is hard to get and it's lacking other benefits. In Season 2, the Infection Vampiric Powers is the best way to add poison damage to a Sorcerer build. Just be sure to consider what Vampiric Power you're trading for the extra 15% multiplier. Remember that even though the Rasha buff is a separate multiplier, each stack of the buff is added to previous stacks, causing a diminished return. Gaining the 4th stack gives you a 1.6 times multiplier from the 1.45 times multiplier with 3 stacks. 1.6 divided by the 1.45 gives a 10% overall damage increase. I don't think that this 10% overall damage increase is worth losing 20% ultimate cooldown from Anticipation or Fortify from Sanguine Brace. Fortify is incredibly beneficial for the inherent 10% damage reduction, which can be increased further with Sapphires and Armor. As a side note, I did test physical damage, and it does not count as elemental damage for a Rasha buff stack. In conclusion, the Rasha's Iridescent loop provides maximum DPS with some trade-offs, and is useful if you want to kill Uber Lilith or Duriel as quickly as possible. Just be sure to consider what you're losing. I don't like dropping survivability like Lightning Spear or Sanguine Brace for general content. That's all I have for this video, I hope it helps. Feel free to join our Discord server or catch a live stream on Twitch if you like to chat. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Diablo 4 content. Until next time, peace out and happy slaying.